A very good morning, everyone. As every morning in the field of AI doing something new, but today Anthropic just changed the game. They claiming that they release a model which is the most capable for doing everything. And I'm not talking about the any normal model out of there. It is Claude Opus 4.8, the most successor model of Claude 4.7. It's built on the top of this model. So our task not believe on the theoretical concepts. Let's try and hit this model and checking their capability. Let's begin. Okay, so here it is. Introducing Claude Opus 4.8. It builds on top of the Opus 4.7 that I have already mentioned earlier in my video, and where we can see here the ultimate comparison between the top models out of there, like their own Opus 4.7, GPT 5.5, Gemini 3.1 Pro, and we can see the real outcome. We didn't check it out, right? It's a theoretical way. In this case we can see the lot of cases, in every cases Opus 4.8 is much better than other. Only the agentic terminal coding is some amount like 4% or faster in the case of GPT 5.5, but the result is here, we can see. And one of these things I would love to mention here, if you spent any time building the full stack apps or relying on Claude 4.7 for heavy building over the last month, you probably noticed a trend. It is lazy, and some point of word it is hallucinating. And I would love to show some building with cursor to check it out its own potential. Build a core engine of a scalable platform, a distributed task queue, a worker threads. This is the exact kind of robot backend architecture needed for flight booking systems. Flight booking systems I'm talking about is one of the most scalable tasks, and using the top tech stacks out of there like Node.js, Redis for queuing, and MongoDB for logging. And here I have to select remove the auto. By the way, I would love to mention one thing first. When I have already tried this out, the Claude 4.8, it is consuming much credits, so be aware of that. And if you want to save your credits, your hard-earned money, so what you can do here is a process. I can explain it to you in another video. Just you need to write a comment here, key new video. Just write new video in the comment section. I would love to show you how you can use this premium model, but in an efficient way that you don't charge that much, right? So just we need to select the Opus 4.8 higher bus. We have just go. Let's talking about one of the most important thing. Yeah, everyone complaining about the Claude's previous models, they are just hype, but I don't think it's completely true. But because I think that this our fault, we are not able to giving the appropriate prompt. Suppose just saying, hey Claude, just stop doing this thing. Rather than we have to explain the logic behind this, the why. For an example, hey Claude, don't write the complex queries. Don't say like that. Why? Because Claude is a curious model. So we have to fulfill the curiosity, right? So just instead of saying stop using the complex queries, what we can say? We can say, hey, I'm teaching a junior, so please write the queries in a fundamental way so they can easily understand. This is how we can feed the curiosity model. They can feed the curiosity, right? I have an experience. I asked it to post, I am talking about, by the way, I'm talking about the 4.7. I asked it to push 50 files. It would completely tell me, it was done. And when I'm checking at the repo, I just find it only pushed 15 files. What? So really? Okay, so I would like to open a new folder here. Suppose I'm going to file, open folder. Okay, my project, a new folder. Okay, and I hope this time it can solve all of these issues because it's an upgraded one. And I have already copied a prompt and I would like to paste it here. And I would love to not build a showing a simple application, because everyone is building some landing page. Landing page is just a small thing. It can build your Sonnet 4.6 as well. You don't need for the ultra premium model for that, right? So if you're gonna be building most of your work with heavy materials, like for this case, you need to pay this amount, right? So the billing is exactly same as previous, the 17 USD monthly billing. I didn't have the subscription yet for Claude for a 4.8 Pro. I have subscription for the cursor, and this is very good for me. I have the Gemini subscription and the Chat GPT. So yeah, and here recently I can see some changes they have made. When you are selecting some modes, there is a higher effort means more thought responses but takes longer and use your limits faster. They have already give you the context yet, and there is four options you can select now, which is max for doing the most efficient task, then you have high, then you have medium, then you have low, right? So please use this thing effective way so that you are not overcharged, right? And yeah, so I think I have to give you a whole idea what Cloud 4.8 is, how is better than the previous 4.7, what kind of issue I am facing, or the model has facing in the 4.7. That's why they are upgraded it into the 4.8, so everything is clear. And if you guys are want to know how we can build a massive backend heavy architecture kind of thing using the Cloud 4.8, please let me know. I would love to make a new complete video by showing scratch to end about Cloud 4.8. And also, as I mentioned previous in the video, if you want to save your hard-earned money, if you want to save your credits, so please write new video in the comment. I would like to make a video on how you can use this efficient model, but in an efficient way to not bankrupting your money.